All right. Well, welcome to Chop It Up for this here Tuesday, the 9th of November.
Like, don't go backwards, bro.
Listen, yeah, we can't go backwards. I won't go back. Can't go back to the way it used to be. My name is Kevin, host of Chop It Up, joined as always with my brothers, and I am just excited about the fact that the Lakers are not the number one team in the West. In fact,
yeah,
right now they're the what? They're the.
Are they even in the
They're
top
the eighth.
5 right now?
They're the 8th team in the West.
Yeah.
Whereas my Bulls are the top, are the number 3 team in the West, in the East. So that, of course, is making my day. I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves, and then we'll jump into our conversations.
Tari Watkins, Oklahoma City by way of Asheville for the last time, fellas. I'm leaving this weekend, heading back to OKC. So it's been real. I'll see y'all in OKC on the other side, fellas.
Your parole officer found you?
I know, right? Why you wait till we live, man?
Why you put my business out there in the street like that?
He's out in the streets. Can't tell him nothing, man.
I mean, why you put my business out there, bro? I mean, you see, I shaved the beard, trying to look different, trying to keep the head slick so people don't recognize me. I may have to grow it out to get a George Jefferson look, just so they don't find out where I
am. Darian Lewis, happy to be here.
You get me with that every time.
Every time. All right. And then also, just by way of things that my Caucasian brothers and sisters need to stop doing.
Oh God, what happened now, Kev?
Is telling black people who they look like. Because I got one that I was just like,
Kev, I was all ready to defend my caucus brothers and sisters.
It's caucus.
But when you said that,
your Caucasus Mountain
kinfolk. I've had some that are like, okay, I could see it. Yes, I get the DJ Khaled one. Okay.
It's a stretch, man.
Well,
that's
when I'm out and I don't have my glasses on, and I'm, I at least that's in the ballpark. Okay, that's at least.
Yeah. I get it.
I get that.
I get it.
But the one I had on my Instagram the other day was,
oh God,
Jon Favreau.
Do I even know who that is?
Yes, Avengers.
Happy in
Happy.
Iron Man.
Rudy. He was Rudy's best friend. Come on, man.
I didn't respond to it. So stop telling people who they look like. just keep it to yourself.
Oh, you want to hear a good one though? I had this lady come up to me, looked at me dead and square in the face. Are you Asian?
Has she ever been out of the country?
I was sitting here. I know that I'm the only one in the break room, and I went, "You talking to me?" She says, "Yeah, you look like you got some Asian in you." I said, "Ma'am, I love me some Chinese food."
That's what she was picking up on.
I love me some Japanese food. I love me some Vietnamese food.
Some Thai food too.
I love some Thai food. But
Don't forget
no,
the pho.
ma'am. And I love pho. Well, that's Vietnamese. I
Yeah.
love some pho, bro. But yeah, that was the oddest one I've ever gotten. And I'm like, I went home. I told Amy. She went, was she drunk? I said, one. I hope not. But yeah, that one was odd. I've even done the 23andMe thing. Not a stitch. Not a. Hey, 17% European though. That I knew it
I'm
was
not
up
shocked.
there. I knew it was up there, but I didn't think it
Yeah.
was up there that much. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
17%
not shocked.
you, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that just proves some of the things that my aunts and uncles tried to say. No, that wasn't true. I'm like, I'm looking at a picture of my great grandmother. Y'all, she ain't black, and she ain't Indian.
Yeah.
Well, she just light skinned.
There's a reason that is.
Right.
That happened for a reason. All right.
Right.
So we're gonna jump into today's. We got a couple of things I want to hit on today. One is a carryover from where we were going to talk last week regarding Will and Jada. And for those of you that are not familiar, of course, they have been married for 20 something years, I think, is it, or at least together for a bunch of years.
It's a bunch of
26.
years. It's a
Yeah.
bunch of
26.
years.
And she made some statements on her Red Table Talk, which is her show that she hosts on Facebook Watch. They got misconstrued to her saying that she's having problems, figuring out basically sex with Will. And when we heard it, and Darian, we talked about this, and Tori, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it yet, but when we heard what she actually had to say, the mature people in the room said, that's just marriage. Not that she's having difficulty figuring out sex, but she's saying when we're getting to a deeper level of intimacy, basically, and making sure that that's really what she's getting at. So
That's it. That's it in
yeah.
a nutshell.
I mean, there's
And
nothing more to say. I mean, at that point, I mean,
but I think the real conversation.
And of course, my wife comes on clowning.
hey, you know what though? I'll
Oh,
take that one, Tarsha. I would take that one. Do I get his house and his
I can see
royalties?
that. I was actually expecting more DMC, but I can see that. I can see Ron.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
That
Tarsha,
was
you
funny.
you
That was
off the
funny.
chain.
She coming correct right now. That was funny. I ain't gonna lie. I'll take that one from Tarsha. I ain't gonna take it from nobody else though.
I know.
Okay.
I know, right? No, but what I was going to say about Jada's statement, I think the real conversation is less about what she said and more about the overreaction and
Mhm.
Oh,
why
most
it is,
definitely.
yeah,
Most
why it
definitely.
is that if someone confirms that there's a challenge, that for whatever reason they're not being, they're revealing something deeper and darker. Particularly with those two, man, we've been so intimate in their relationship and in their honestly in their bedroom
From
for
day
the
one.
last few years,
Well, really from day one.
Yeah, true. To where they've decided to ride whatever media thing pops up. They either let it blow over or or they confront it head on. Either way,
Mhm.
it's just who they are. And so I can't think of any Hollywood couple that has been as whether willingly or unwillingly transparent with what really goes on. And what's crazy to me is it just makes them, they haven't said anything that the rest of America is not dealing with on some level.
Mhm.
And yet when it's them, everyone's shocked.
I don't get it, man.
I think it has to do with the fact that one, Will has always been Mr. Nice Guy, if you will, right? Will is probably one of the persons that did the transformation the best. He went from rapper to where people don't even remember that he was a rapper
Yep, he
to
was.
being a major movie star, right? And then Jada was again, she was the sassy, homegirl, what have you, that grew into this woman. And so then, of course, we put it all on Will and Jada as relationship goals,
Right.
right? They were, Michelle and Obama, Will and Jada. That's who we want to be. And so for them, I think it has been everybody feels like they know Will and they know Jada because, like you said, they have been transparent and they have been in some ways accessible. And so that has been, but then there's all these rumors that they never really fully addressed, but are like, we're seeing, yeah, that's possible. That's possibly true. And so we've seen kind of their whole family over the course of these past 20 something years as almost like you said, black royalty, if you will,
Right.
that has had some crossover appeal in some respect.
I get that.
Yeah, I get it.
I get that. Now he just recently confirmed that they are in an open marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Time out.
Yeah.
Oh, he confirmed that?
Yeah, he confirmed it. He finally confirmed it. Now, this is what's funny to me. So he confirms that what everybody's known, the open secret anyway.
Right.
But what's funny to me is how, again, we take these snippets of their life, because I'm thinking about, her whole entanglement, episode, and how that thing just became its own monster.
It
Right.
did.
You know what I'm saying? But they never weaved into, where they I can't say they did one or the other. It just never really came up. No one who had the ability to spin that story ever brought up the fact of where they really were, in their relationship and in their in the particular time frame of that, to where, Jada was pretty vulnerable for a situation like that. And then you take on top of that this inexperienced kid that is, had his whole mind blown. Seriously, he had a whole education from that one relationship.
Education.
Okay, yeah, he's
Yeah.
I mean, if we'll be honest, he's never going to recover.
Yeah.
It just, so with all of that drama that was in there, these two people, man, they're doing what they do in the best way that they know how. And the unfortunate, the reality is they're probably the surface of what's really going on in that industry. And a
Right.
lot of times we just don't, again, we don't take that into consideration. So when you talk about the mature people look at what she said and realize, yeah, 26 years, baby. If you said it was a breeze, you were lying.
You're lying.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
said the whole time y'all were always just hot and on fire for each other,
Lying.
the passion was, we've never had a stroke. That would be a lie.
100%.
Right.
100%.
That would be the story.
Yes.
What are you
Right.
really hiding? But I'm convinced the people who took this and ran with it were people who either have never been married or have not been in a successful long-term relationship, that have really weathered some storms.
Right.
Because that's, to me, that was a no-brainer. That was an absolute no-brainer. But boy, the media went in.
Yeah, they took it to a whole level, and it was just like, okay, let's dial it back, because first of all, like you said, it's marriage. Marriage will go up and down. The thing is, yes, how do we stay focused on the assignment, which is till death do you part, right?
Right.
That should be the goal. Doesn't mean that there aren't going to be times where it's like, Tarsha and I've been honest. There have been times where it's like, look, I love you, but I don't know if I like you right now.
I don't like you right now.
And that's
common.
It doesn't change the fact that we're in a committed relationship working towards getting to till death do us part. We just want to make sure it's premature.
Right.
Right.
So when we hear that, it's like, okay, we got to give. And then I think the other thing also is that it tells me that be your own relationship goal. I think the other thing is that we put too much emphasis and too much um, we put too many people, too many other relationships on a pedestal, and don't work on our own. Be your own
So
relationship goal.
yeah, so what you're saying is that Charles Barkley was right,
Yeah, he's not a role model.
and I agree with that.
He's not an NBA champion either.
Oh, dude, that jab just came out of
Dude, that was not
nowhere.
a jab. There's a
That was a
shiv.
haymaker, boy.
There's a
That
shiv in that hand. Go
wow.
sit in the corner somewhere.
No,
Hey,
but you know, he said that he says, "Hey, parents, be your kids' role models." And
right.
guess what? I don't disagree with him. Do I get there's a level of responsibility in the role that
Yes.
he's in? Of course I do. Yes, but people were all up in arms when he said that, and I heard it, and I'm like, I should be my kid's role model first and foremost. Amy should be. I'm done. I'm done, man. It's a wrap. I'm done. I'm done.
It's that 4K camera that Dell sent you.
Oh
That's
shoot, yes,
twice.
man.
That's twice in 20 minutes, bro. That's
I love it.
I ain't mad at it though. I'm
What's
not
up,
mad at it.
Bobby?
But but I mean, yeah, Kev, you're right. I mean, there is nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, we want to get to this level," but you never compare yourself to anyone else, marriage or anything else, because this is your life.
Mm-hmm.
You have to live it with the two of you and
Right.
figure things out. I had a friend just text me, says, "Hey, pray for us. You know, we're at this place now, and it's kind of like what you said, Kev. Yeah, I love you, but I don't know if I like you right now."
Mm-hmm.
And that was a text message. It pretty much saying that, "Hey, you know, we just don't have any feelings right now for you." And I texted him. I said, look, I said, I get it. I said, this happens quite often. I said, but it is fixable.
Right.
I said, it's not the end.
Right.
It's fixable.
Right.
Now this is where you all choose and you decide what you're going to do instead of just reacting. This is the choice. And if you two are committed people, now you choose. I said Amy and I had to choose a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
when we didn't want to,
Right.
and we had to work through it. We prayed, we listened, which is a whole nother topic. True listening
Mm-hmm.
and truly hearing, and not just waiting to respond. So yeah, Kev, you said something that's important. You work on your relationship
Right.
goals. Work on what's going to work for you two, and don't compare yourselves to other marriages, because that's never going to work,
Right.
because you didn't marry that other individual, they didn't marry that other spouse, you married each other.
Right.
If
And
I
you don't
can
know
just
what craziness goes on behind their closed
thank
doors.
you.
You have no idea. None.
Number one.
you
But
you see what they let you see.
oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the other thing I wanted to bring up though, anyway, the a lot of people, the reason why these couples become couple goals and what have you, is because a lot of people in society do not have a playbook to go by.
Right.
They've
Yeah.
I get it.
chosen for whatever reason, to disregard whatever playbook may be available.
Right.
For us, obviously, first and foremost, it's scripture.
Yeah.
That is what. And so when you make a covenant, the covenant has nothing to do with your emotions.
Right.
None.
Yeah.
None
Yeah.
whatsoever. I don't care what you
You know what
feel.
I mean? It's
This is
like
what you gotta do. I don't care
I don't
about
want to
your
be around
feelings
you
right
right
now.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. What else gonna do? You know. But seriously, a lot of times when people don't have number one, they don't have a rule book to go by, a
Right.
guide to go by that doesn't deviate.
Right.
It's going to be this same rule book for wisdom and success,
Mm-hmm.
from now on. And then they don't also surround themselves with others who are also trying to live by that same rule book,
Right.
who are not necessarily in the hole you're in at the moment, or have come out of the hole that you find yourself in, and have some wisdom to pour back into that, pointing you back to the guidebook.
Yeah.
um and a lot of people just in society, they don't have that. So yeah, all they've got literally are the snippets and the snapshots and the IG posts and the Facebooks, to say, hey, this is what our relationship is supposed to look like. It's not going to be a vacation on the Riviera every other week. It's just
It's
not.
not.
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
just not. I read a book a number of years, well, a while back, about particularly about manhood. And one of the things, the guy that was writing it, he was writing it for single men, but he had been married for like 17 years at the time. Anyway, the point being, the point he was trying to make in one section was, he said, if you're really going to be successful at marriage, you've got to be able to look forward to the thousandth bowl of oatmeal on on a weekday morning.
Right.
You got to get ready for the mundane. The mundane has to be something that, not necessarily that you look forward to, but doesn't drive you crazy, because
Right.
that's the majority of your life in marriage. It's the
Right.
mundane, day in, day out, taking care of one another, taking care of the life, taking care of the kids, taking care of the house, taking care of things, and planning for and hopefully building toward something that you can be proud of as a legacy that you leave. But
Mhm.
the highlights and the firecrackers and the vacations in Dubai and all of that stuff, man, it may come and it may not, but it doesn't. That should never define the success of your relationship.
Well, according
Yeah.
to my
Yeah.
wife, the vacation in Dubai is going to happen. My wife she is prophesying Dubai all
I'm okay
time.
with that.
Listen, I
Hey,
am too.
found out
We're
today,
trying to
Speak
make
it,
Dubai
it
is not that
speak it,
expensive.
Tasha. Speak it.
happen.
Speak it. Hey, I'm
We're
okay
trying to
with
get to
that.
Dubai.
Hey,
I'm with that.
I'm with that 100%.
I'm all the way
Darian,
with that.
you spoke on something that triggered. Honestly, I can't remember if it was Bishop and Pastor Brenda Timberlake or not. It very well may have been, but it's something that Amy and I learned early on, that there is something about being content with just the mere presence of your spouse.
Hmm.
That's that oatmeal piece. I mean, being okay with their presence. I know that they're there in the other room or in the same room, and just being content and being happy and being joyful
Yeah.
that they're in your presence. There is something about that. There's something a lot deeper. It's when older couples talking about, our love has matured and it's developed, and it's a love that, it's not the arrows and, the physical. I mean, all that stuff. It's true. Like, I care for this person so much that when they simply walk into the room, I feel myself get happy. That's huge. And it's really hard for people to grasp and to take hold of that and understand what that concept is. And that means you have to be content with who they are, what they say, no matter what their flaws may be.
Hmm.
Because we all know that when you combine two different households, there's some things you're like, I didn't know that ahead of time. I'm gonna have to get used to this. And find out they put raisins in their oatmeal. Ugh. Yeah, that's yeah. Can we take the raisins out of the oatmeal, please? That'll be all right. So, yeah,
Listen, get the individual box. I'm so serious.
right.
Get the individual box. Here, have at it.
Yeah, it's
Work
it's
that
about
out.
it's about learning how that cohabitation works with
How does it
another
work?
person and their presence. I mean, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Just by
Mhm.
that simple statement, it's huge. And if couples ever grasp that, just being happy, just knowing that someone is right there. But I mean, just being there
Just doing life
is
with.
enough. That's it. Doing life with somebody. I can tell you right now, 100%, not doing life with somebody for the past 6 years. I appreciated it before because Amy and I talked about it all the time and we talked to couples about it. But now not having it for almost 6 years, bro, when it happens again, oh, I'm never letting go. I'm telling you right now,
Hmm.
I'm going to be locked on for dear life because I know what it's like to have it. Now I know what it's like not to have it, and I cherish and I cherish it, and I appreciate it even more now than I did before. And
Yeah.
it just proves to that point that Bishop and Pastor Brenda made decades ago when I was a teenager, and it stuck with me. But being able to hold on to that is where you get past that I love you, but I don't know if I like you right now.
Right.
Because if you just merely enjoy the presence of someone being there right beside you, and you're not even talking or doing anything, but that presence makes you happy, gives you joy, then you're past the I don't like you, because that's not going to show up again unless something terrible happens.
Right.
You're past that hill of I don't know if I like you right now, because now you're really appreciating the person of who they are. If we could just get to that and understand the importance of that, that'd be huge for so many couples.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So to shift gears just a little bit, in the news also, we had um, basically over the weekend, we started getting reports of basically something happened. Was it Texas? I think it was.
Yeah,
But
Astroworld.
Extra world.
Astroworld, yeah, down in Texas with Travis Scott, who is a rapper, hip hop, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Don't call it hip hop. Don't even let's not even
very
have that
true,
argument right now.
Listen,
very true.
listen.
Don't
When
even
when
don't
when
even
you
call it
hear
hip
that
hop.
when you hear that statement with that tone from a true hip hop head, you know, dude, I have no respect for your music.
Very true. Very
Hey,
true.
bro, you're not wrong, bro. I'm just saying
Because
you're
you
not
you all
wrong.
know, I I think I mentioned if I were to do a doctoral thesis, it would be on how NWA killed hip hop.
We still have not had that conversation on here yet.
Okay, so we gotta schedule that one.
We
That's
Gotta
another
still
one.
have
schedule
not
that
had,
one.
but I'm curious. I want
Okay,
to
That's
know.
pretty deep.
yeah,
That is
That's a
pretty deep.
deep statement because most people would say the exact opposite.
Yes,
right.
they would.
They would.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
they
get
would.
it.
they would actually cause it to expand and explode. But
Yeah,
this will be interesting.
but
Anyway,
so you have Travis Scott and had his concert in Houston, Astro World Festival, and 8 people lost their lives in this. It looks like it was jam packed. It was an outdoor concert,
Dude, it was literally sardine jam packed.
fifty
and
People
thousand people showed up.
people couldn't move. They
yeah,
could only move the way the
They didn't.
crowd moved.
They didn't plan for it.
no.
No, they didn't.
And so what has also come out of this, and thanks to TikTok conspiracy experts, what have you, but if you, for me, because I'm at least familiar with Travis Scott as an artist, there were conversations of whether or not this was a demonic ritual, a satanic ritual, whether or not there were things, whether or not that's his end goal or his end game, or if he's a devil worshiper, right? So all of those things, and I was telling Tori and Darian, you can jump into this, but I was saying that's been kind of the things that have been spoken about him for quite some time now. Is that he seems to have a fixation, if you will, with um, Satanism, dark, demon worship, whatever. So, and there are some things that if you look at how the stage was set, the stage, if you've seen pictures of it, was a giant circle looking like a portal. And as he's performing, there are periods where there's an eye that is showing in the portal or the circle, as well as there are other times where it says, "See you on the other side." And then there's even the statement, and I'll let you guys jump in, but your thoughts. There's even the thing that came out that while the concert was happening, there was someone going around injecting people with they're thinking it was opioid because they did have to at least revive one person or at least provide Narcan to one person who was injected. The security guard was injected while the concert was going on. And Ashley got to chime in on this one. Listen, I'll put a link in the thing if you want to pop on with us, or you just want to share your comments.
Come on through. I did hear the whole satanic ritual, blood sacrifice,
Right.
all of that different stuff. Um, the only challenge with that is the fact of the lack of preparation for this crowd size. Like it was almost as if they did not expect Travis Scott to pull that many people um, to want to see him. And even though I don't follow the brother, I've seen enough footage to know if you're pulling him, you better get ready for a pretty massive size crowd. You know, you just need to get ready for that. Everything that I've ever seen is him on these stages. Now, to the conspiracy side, even he and who's this girl, Kylie? Is it Kylie Jenner?
Yeah.
They did this documentary on this kid, and it's funny. I get to call him a kid because he literally is one to me. But they did a documentary on this kid. You know, I don't know. I don't remember how long, but I saw a snippet of that. And what they kind of gave a peek into was how he literally went from, you know, we talk about overnight success, and it typically takes 10 to 15 years to become an overnight success.
Mhm.
No, he literally was. And so they were talking a little bit, they were tapping a little bit on how did he go from trying to get, you know, 16 bars on somebody's stage at a club to
Right.
Travis Scott,
Right.
you know.
Well, yeah,
And
it seemed it happened. Of course, it didn't happen overnight, but literally the first time I'd ever heard of him, Darian, was a freaking McDonald's commercial. I'm like, Travis Scott meal? Who the heck is Travis Scott? And how does he have a meal at McDonald's already? McDonald's, Wendy's, I don't know, Burger King. It was somewhere. I don't remember where it was. And that was it was either earlier this year or last year. I can't remember.
Oh,
bro,
But
so
I mean, the
so
dude, it's not like you couldn't understand that this dude was going to pull a crowd. I mean,
yeah,
going back to your previous point, I know it's not the whole satanic ritual thing, but they should have known. I mean, I could have figured it out.
I if that is the case, if that's what's going on, if you've got enough um pull to have a team of people who are running around, you know, shooting folks up in a crowd like that, but you also still have those who were trampled, you also still have those who were crushed. You know, you've got these little kids, man, and they said a little over 100 people were actually injured.
mhm.
I can't remember. I think it was like 25 that wound up in the hospital. That's not just uh, you know, people running around just stabbing folks with injections. That's you know, that's horrible crowd control.
Right.
And
Yes, yeah.
now we'll say this: that I don't know if you guys saw the mayor of Houston released a statement that this is officially a police investigation
Wow.
with homicide and narcotics division involved,
Yeah.
and they're going to work
Wow.
this. They said we, you know, prepare for this to take some time because we're going to do a very, very deep dive. So
Yeah.
there is something to it, you know.
There's
Yeah.
something there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something there. The question is going to wind up being how involved was Mr. Scott, uh, you know, because he swears he didn't know.
Well, I think I saw something where I can't remember if it was the police, but someone from the city basically had the conversation to say, you need to control your crowd. You need to think this through as far as your crowd management. And those things were ignored. So, I mean, just from a let's just without going into the spiritual side of this thing, because I do want to talk a little bit about that. But from a practical side of this thing, uh, he about to come off of grip, left and right,
Oh yeah.
left and right. And then just Tori, I can tell you're not a sneakerhead because the Travis Scott Jordan ones are like crazy.
Oh no, I'm not a sneakerhead. I don't make that much money. I ain't got time for that.
Listen, the three of us don't make enough money for those shoes.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Mine.
Although if somebody want to gift me a pair, I'll take them. All right. But the Travis Scott ones were kind of where I first began to hear about those. And Travis Scott's have been out since 2018, 19, something like that.
Oh, so it's been a while then.
Yeah, so he's actually been out for a little while.
Y'all, okay. Y'all know, listen, anybody that does anything that gets with a Kardashian,
Yeah.
the Kardashians know they have a systematic, methodical approach to getting you into these situations where you just become stupid rich for no reason.
Be black. That's one. Be black.
That's given.
Yeah.
That's automatic.
Have some talent.
A little bit. Yeah.
Right. And then the rest, we'll see.
Well, yeah, I mean, they again, they just I believe dad kind of paved the way, showed mom a little bit. Mom has a natural knack for managing careers and creating all these scenarios that she did, and she has taught this methodology to her kids. Her kids have taken the little bit that they've had and have literally worked into these. They are starting to create billionaires with their system of business. And I don't know if folks can say whatever you want to about the Kardashians. They know something we don't.
That's true.
You can have a problem with them all you want to. You can ask the question, why are we still watching them? Why do we even still care? Because they understand something we don't.
Can you change that your verbiage there?
No,
all right, so Ash just popped on.
Why do they still care?
Got it.
Being 100%. What's up, baby girl?
What's up,
my babies? Hey,
Hi.
there's my jeans in 2 different
Oh
forms
my
right there. Look at
goodness.
that. Look at mamas.
Oh my
Look at little mamas.
God. You all look exactly alike.
Babu loves you. Hey, mama. What's up, little mamas? Can you see Babu? Can you see me? I need a smile.
For the people.
I need a smile. There's a whole bunch of people to look at. No, don't look at them two dudes. Look at the handsome one right here.
She's looking at the orange too.
Oh, do you see? No. I saw that smile. I saw you, mamas.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.
That's the show right there.
Okay, so I have to ask, since we're talking about the Kardashians.
I thought you were talking about Travis Scott.
Hold on, I'm sure she'll get back to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm getting there because that has everything to do with what I'm saying.
Hey, just to let y'all know, she talks like I do. I'm just warning you right now.
Let me speak for myself. No, I'm just like.
Dad, you thousands of miles away. Just
Hello.
Hey, hold on. I still hold the phone account.
Wow, you're just gonna put it all out.
Wow.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay,
That's
I
a
call
daddy's
T-Mobile.
prerogative.
I call T-Mobile.
Man.
I call T-Mobile in a minute.
Wow.
That is
Thanks.
cold. Boy.
Okay. Anyways, we can do this all night. So have you heard of the Kardashian curse?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's obvious, but no, I haven't heard of it specifically.
Okay, so Dad, have you heard about it?
Of course
Okay.
not.
Okay, so let me just break it down real quick. So just to put it bluntly, Kardashian women getting with African American man and ruining their lives.
Mhm.
That is the
Mhm.
gist and the basis of the Kardashian curse. So this is not surprising.
Is Kanye's life ruined?
I mean, from an outside perspective, I would say that Kanye's life is totally ruined because he's crazy. But
He was crazy
That's
before her, though.
But
Not
it became amplified.
Yeah, not this level.
It became amplified.
Kim is crazy. So I mean, and I'm a person that watched all of the show.
Yeah, I know
All
you
the
did.
show when Kanye was on it. I mean, and it really, I could see where people get that idea of this Kardashian curse, but I also feel like there's got to be a level of responsibility. obviously put on these men. We're all adults, we're all individuals, we can make decisions for ourselves. Now, as far as Travis Scott goes, he says he didn't know what was going on. And per a couple of different news outlets and resources, there were around 9:15, 9:18, and 9:30 at the concert. He said, hey, whoa, somebody's passed out. They need help, this, that, and the third. But he ignored the crowd complaints and the hey, this is too much. There's not enough exits. There's no way for people to get out, because it's all about the numbers.
Right.
And one thing about Travis Scott's concerts, they are about numbers. They have always been huge in capacity. So for me, this doesn't just fall on Travis Scott. This falls on the concert venue.
They're being sued too.
Right.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's the only picture that's being painted is that Travis Scott was trying to bring everybody to hell. And I don't think that is
Come on, let's go.
But here's the thing. Looking at the references and looking at the examples, it is dangerously close. And it's suspiciously similar.
Right.
I mean, it's not just kind of close stretch.
It's a copy paste with a few tweaks. Like it's fringing on copyright. I mean, seriously. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't ignore.
You can't dismiss it.
I cannot dismiss the spiritual aspect of this. And here's the thing: us as Christians, believers, we have always heard that you have to be careful with music. We know why you have to be careful with music.
Oh, always.
You know why you have to be careful. And this is one of the biggest examples of our time, of my time as an adult. There's a reason why when you look up like horror movie or thriller movie soundtracks, that certain artists come up with those. And here's the thing. I used to watch scary movies all the time. I mean, up until earlier this year.
You got one more time.
Hey, you gotta give the people what they want. They want a show.
Hey, okay.
We getting it.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, it's all right. But I used to watch scary movies back in the day, even early in this year, but I found myself here recently really struggling to even keep the TV on when a trailer comes on. And it's not just that it's giving me the weird feelings. I've got kids around. Right. And so to know
spiritual aspect
that my husband's younger siblings listen to Travis Scott and do all the TikTok challenges and are all about that. And I mean, like the things that middle schoolers and high schoolers are in right now could definitely propel into more dangerous habits in the future. And I think that it gets so overlooked because what's easy right now is to be on trend. And what's on trend is Travis Scott. What's on trend is huge, massive concerts that have mosh pits. Like mosh pits are a thing again. I don't understand it. I can't breathe in situations like that. I don't like to be touched by other people. I would rather not. But for some, that's their thing. And my first thing that I was thinking about this concert was, what about the kids that snuck out to be at that concert? And what if they were one of those who were injured? What is that process? What does that process look like for those parents? What is their next move? Because it's easy to take away a phone for a couple weeks, but it's not easy to remove them from the things that they're around all the time. And music is one of them.
I'm with you on that because I'm trying to figure out why are we hearing about 10-year-olds and 14-year-olds
right
at these concerts? Like what you used to have to be carded
You
to
were
get to
dropping me
certain
off at a
shows.
concert at 14
Right.
years old. There wasn't no, I couldn't even go to Walmart at 14 years old. There's no way I was getting
Listen,
dropped off at a
Hey,
concert.
that's the old Cosby episode right there. What was the band they went to go see? The
I don't
Wretched.
remember, but I
Was
know
it
that
the
she almost
Wretched?
lost
it
her
was the
life.
wretched. Yes,
It was the Wretched, right?
having big fun with the wretched.
Big fun.
Man, to have big fun. Yeah.
Oh
Aw.
my God, she sounds just like her.
Right?
That's my show. That is my show.
Uh,
Boy, but yes, exactly. Like, and here's the thing: the parenting styles are totally different from when I grew up.
Mhm.
Kids right now,
you sound so old right now.
I know
So
it's
old.
weird because I would never drop. First of all, I'm not dropping my kids off at the mall. That's
No.
not happening. That didn't happen when I was a kid. That's definitely I almost cussed. That is that's not happening.
She felt that
But-
thing.
She sure did.
I did. I just and see, that's what I don't get. I'm not about to look like Boo Boo the Fool dropping off my kid at the concert and then picking him up from the ER. That's not going to
No.
be me.
Well, you know,
That's not
what
gonna
the
be
other
me.
thing that Morris just said, you know, a lot of parents took them, and I'm still thinking, okay,
Yeah, I saw that.
you know, the idea that and I get that. I know there are a lot of parents that think that that's the responsible thing to do. I'll take you, but
Okay.
I'll take you to a Kids Bop concert. I'll take you to what's the other one? I'll take you to something like that. I'm not taking you to a concert where I gotta censor half of what's being said.
Well, don't forget these, and I'm making a big and huge assumption. These are probably the same parents that say, "Well, I'd rather my kids drink here at the house than drink somewhere else."
That part. That's where I was going. It's this new.
I mean, it's the same. It's the
mentality
same
of-
concept.
It's like the fear of if we keep our kids sheltered, they're gonna rebel against us. So I want to be their friend, and I also want to be their parent. But if you go too opposite one way, you end up hurting yourself or hurting your child.
Mhm.
And that's where this mindset of it's okay for me to drop off my child, my 14-year-old, at a concert and not know who else is going to be there.
With grown
That's
folks.
the first thing. That's the first thing.
outdoor concert, amusement park.
Right.
There's so many things that could. I mean, it's not a controlled environment of any kind.
Right.
So many things that could go wrong.
And it's Houston.
Exactly.
No slight to you, Morris.
Yeah.
No,
You
no,
love
no,
your
no. I'm just saying it's Texas. It's
I'm just messing
huge.
with you.
There's
I'm
too
messing
many
with you.
people.
I'm tired of y'all messing with me today, man.
No, I'm just saying we know you in Oklahoma, you live in Oklahoma, and you're trying to get that Oklahoma Texas beef going. I got you. I hear you. It's okay.
I couldn't care less, bro.
Oh, it's right because it's there whether he includes it or not.
Right.
Regardless.
Yeah, but no, I appreciate your perspective on that, especially with you being a young mother. I'm sure all of that, looking at all of that, is like, who in the world would even consider this to be sane?
Yeah. I mean, I sound like my parents watching the news in the morning. It's frustrating to know that I have more common sense than grown adults. And I'm a grown adult, don't get me wrong.
That's
But there's
exactly what I was gonna say.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? There's a difference. I know better. You should know better.
Right.
It's a common sound like you. It's common sense. It's exactly what it is.
That's my baby girl right
You
there,
are
fellas.
definitely your daddy's daughter.
You're gonna have so many moments. First of all, you're gonna have so many moments of, oh my God, I just sound like him.
Oh, she already does.
Wait.
She
Going
already
to or already have?
She
and will
already
continue.
She sits there, she says stuff, and I'm like,
And listen,
I wonder where you heard that one
three-
from.
My babies are 3, 2, and 6 months. I have so much more in store to talk about with my children.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to see these things. It's frustrating to feel like a lemon in a basket full of apples, just like an odd man, the odd man out,
No, I
people-
like that. That's what this
thank
is
you.
for.
Oh, thank you.
I was like,
oh, thank you. Oh, thank
okay,
you. Yes, thank
that's
you.
my baby girl. I like
Yes,
that one.
I'm trying. Took me a second, but I got it. But yes, no, it sucks to feel that way, especially with kids and knowing that there's going to be a certain point where we don't have any control about a certain aspect of their life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when they go to school, we have some control, but we don't get to control everything. I know that. You know that. You guys are the same way in school. Nothing changes. I hated that as a kid, hating hearing that from my parents. I did the same thing. We were dating. You didn't think we dated. You didn't think we were going through the same thing you were going through. And I'm like, nah, man, y'all didn't even have cable. Like, what are you talking about? No.
Just like you asked me one day, Daddy, did they have color TV when you were born?
Hey, that was a genuine question as like a 6-year-old. So don't come for me.
Hey, the worst one was that I remember when George Washington was president. Seriously?
Wow.
Seriously.
Wow.
Get in the car. Get in the car right now.
I'm sorry.
Love it. But thank you.
I appreciate you guys for letting me come on and share my input. I had to chime in on this one. I couldn't.
Well,
I couldn't
thank you.
this time. Apparently, her as well.
Yes.
Hey, what did your mama do to you? What did your mama do to you? Tell me about it tomorrow.
She didn't take it to the Travis Scott concert?
Kev, all right, Kev, keep playing.
Look, I'm gonna drop off all your nieces and nephews with you. All the way in Phoenix.
She's taking bags off her shoulders.
I'm coming with everything. Look, bassinet, stroller, queen.
She said, "This is your fault. You caused this.
It's all you, bro.
This is all you.
You thought I wasn't coming. I know it's been a week. I'm on the way." But I appreciate y'all. I better go tend to my children for somebody gets on me for parenting. So I got you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye, Pookie.
I appreciate you. Bye. How do I get out of this thing? I really don't know.
We'll kick you out. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Peace.
Good stuff, man. Good. But very solid perspective, I guess the thing that is in the back of my mind is if this does turn sinister in this investigation, are we really going to find out?
That's a good question.
We tend, what I'm saying?
There's so many things that we don't know about other things.
Exactly. History, I don't, God, if I'm fortunate enough to still be here 20, 25 years from now, I don't want to see a documentary on this.
I don't either.
And then the truth come out. You know what I mean? No, let's find out now. Whatever needs to happen needs to happen. But right now we as a country just don't have a good track record unless it's obvious. And even when it's on video.
Right.
It don't matter.
The Malice in the Palace is a fantastic example of that. Perfect example.
Yeah.
The footage was there.
Tallahassee, we got a request to bring her back on.
That's my baby girl, Morris. I love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Watkins Legacy Podcast.
Hey.
We got a spinoff coming. Here we go.
Let's make it happen.
So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, in all honesty, if Netflix is not working on a documentary for it probably in the next 6 months to a year.
They put them out fast though here recently.
They do. What was it?
They kick them out quick.
Because what was it? Fire Island. Didn't they have 2 on that whole debacle down?
I forgot about that one. Yeah, they did have one on that one. I remember that.
So if the footage is available, they can slap them together real fast. And these days, all you got to do is literally put out a call in social media. If you were at such and such event and you have pictures and video, we want what you have,
Zip,
we'll pay you, for your stuff. And they got more footage than they know what to do with.
Exactly.
I
mean, just in all honesty, what we've already seen just from TikTok, Instagram, what have you, on this past weekend, as far as the whole show, it wouldn't be difficult, right?
No.
In fact, a lot of conspiracy theories and the accusations of demonic and what have you, that's coming from people putting out videos and saying, this is what we saw, this is what we experienced, this is what we felt, da da da. So because one of the other things people point to, there's a segment of the concert um where they're literally, you see them kind of carrying at least a lifeless or limp body, trying to get her into the ambulance, and you see Travis Scott perched up on a like tower stand, whatever, moaning and singing over. So there's things like that, and as I mentioned before, I've heard the accusations and the thoughts of, is he associated with Satanism or demonic activity, what have you. And there was enough things that I saw that said, yeah, I don't know him personally, but I can't disagree with it.
It's hard to dismiss, man.
Right.
There's too much that I just seen in the past, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. It's too much to dismiss. It's too
Right.
much to say, well, y'all are stretching. No, there's too many resemblances. I mean, even going back in the day with um uh um Bob Larson. You remember? Do y'all remember Bob Larson back in
Oh
the
Yeah.
yeah.
day?
Oh yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
his conversations with Anton LaVey and all this other stuff. And I remember seeing it. I'm like, okay, this is there's things that we're seeing that are too it's too similar. You can't dismiss that. You can't
Yeah.
just blow it off and say, oh, you're just making things out of nothing. No, these resemblances are way too close. That stage and
It's
seeing the replica of the painting that they were referencing with the
Mhm.
mouth and the head and everything, and yeah, it's way too close, man.
Yeah.
It's way too close.
But it's enough distance to where uh if unless somebody really kind of blows that whole thing open, we're
Right.
never going to know the real
No, no, we're
you
not.
know
Right.
the absolute truth. You don't have Bob Larson's anymore. And
No,
the
you don't.
reason why is because of the way Bob Larson handled Bob Larson.
Right.
We won't go
Right,
into that.
right.
But that was an era where um, you know, people felt the need to uh, exactly, enough distance to where everything is questionable,
Mhm. There's
and
plausible
not necessarily
deniability.
right. And again, you can have 100, 500 different videos showing the exact same thing from different angles, and because it's still not enough to really say this is where it came from.
Right.
Right,
Yeah, we'll still be like, yeah, but you
Right.
right.
know. So that to me is going to be the biggest tragedy of this all. Are we really going to get down to the nitty gritty of it all? You know.
Probably not.
Now, when you start talking about spiritual stuff, man, and this is, um, I'm not, I'm not trying to be weird or spooky. This is where I would love for police forces to begin to really connect with. They get with psychics, which I hate, but I would love to see them get with actual prophets and intercessors, because not because they would discover something or point out something, but in order to push back the cloud of secrecy and darkness and all of that stuff around it, you have to shine light on it.
You have to.
And, right. And so when you're dealing with clairvoyance and psychics and things of that nature, you're still dealing with that cloud of darkness. I don't care how accurate they are, the
Mhm.
accuracy that they present is always going to be from a fleshly nature.
Right.
Speaking of, when are we gonna have the prophetic show?
Yeah, that's on my list. We got to have that, and we got to do the hip hop. So let's plan
George,
The
what's
next
this
week.
look like?
prophetic
Wait,
show? What are you talking about?
We
we're gonna do a deep dive into modern day
prophecy. Yeah.
prophetic prophecy,
Oh,
prophets,
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
the
Not
gift, the
not the
office.
pathetic show. The prophetic show.
Hey, are we gonna talk about pastors throwing seat cushions at the congregation
I'm sorry, that was funny.
We gotta do that one too.
and doing roundhouse kicks when they're
And
praying for and kick somebody in the chest while they're
and
praying for
spanking
him?
their parishioners. Yeah, we can talk
Yeah,
about all that too.
spanking the Christians while they're laid out prostrate at the altar.
Listen.
Literally, was that a switch? Was that no? It was a belt. It
Yeah.
was a belt.
Yeah.
I still don't know what kind of praying that is. I said, brother, you hit me with that belt if you want to.
I had
God,
a
I'm gonna be back in 5 minutes. Don't go nowhere.
Oh no,
I'm
no.
gonna need you.
Holy Spirit, you said you would give me power.
Power. Hey, where's the power team at? Y'all remember
Okay.
the power team?
From the big toe.
Boy, from the back pew. I'm coming off the top rope, bro.
Man, my cousin one time, she was getting prayed for, and somebody was really all into it, man. They started hitting her on her chest, and she literally opened her eyes and said, "You hit me one more time. If you hit me
One more
time.
You got one more again.
Oh, you got one more again.
One of us gonna see Jesus
She
for
said, I was
ourselves.
not playing.
Hey,
You are not gonna hit me another time.
hey, the question is, do you play the harp? No, well, you about to.
You
Here in
about
about
to.
3 seconds. Hit me one more time in the chest and see what happens.
Bro,
Boy.
oh my God, that was funny. Yes.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up for this episode of Chop It Up. We've reached our time. Let's plan on next week. Let's dig into the prophetic, and then the week after that, barring anything, I'll give my dissertation on why NWA killed hip hop. Those will
I
be
want to
our-
get to that, man. I want to get to that.
Didn't hip hop technically start before NWA?
Oh, very much so.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, okay. I'm just making sure we're on the same.
But it was definitely going a different direction, a whole nother
It was.
super highway before
was.
they emerged.
Yes, it was.
Matter of
Yes,
fact, it was kind of relegated to a coast at that point. They're
It
the ones that
was.
kind of made it national,
Yep.
a national expression. They definitely took it to another level. So
They did.
I can't wait to hear this.
All right. So that's it for this episode of Chop It Up. As always, we appreciate you. We will see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.